Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if this is your first time watching and supporting this channel, I want to say thank you for watching your very first video. And if this is not your first time, I want to say thank you so much for continuing to support the channel and watching every episode. So in this video, we're going to talk about Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. And when I thought about trust in God and what trusting in God means, this is the first verses that came to mind. And in Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." And I love this verse, these two verses, especially number 5, where it says, "Just trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding." I love that simply because it just reminds me that literally in the midst of difficult season and whatever challenges we may be facing, whatever the season may be, is to just trust in him. And I know that can be easier said than done. Everything is almost easier said than done. But honestly, with practice, practice and and practice and trust in every season, I have reached a place where, all I can afford is to trust God. Like, I literally have no other option. And in the midst of a difficult season, part of me do want to have doubt. Part of me do want to be pessimistic. A part of me do have my little down moments of just thinking that, okay, this is never going to end. But, I get out of those situations quicker because for me, the same energy that I'm putting into being negative is the same energy I can put into trusting God. And I would say being negative take a lot more energy than it does to be positive, to be hopeful, to have faith, to still believe. And I also believe that when you do change your perspective and when you do shift your energy from being negative to trusting in God, and God truly renews your faith. He renews your strength. Like, there's a verse that said he will renew your strength. And he truly does that. He truly renews your strength. And I would say renews your faith because I feel like in the midst of the difficult season, he will give you a glimpse of hope. He will encourage you. He'll send somebody your way. He'll give you a little sunshine. Like, the season may last for a little longer than you have anticipated, but throughout that, like, he will give you hope. And he renews your strength every time. So for me, and yet trusting God is difficult, but I've reached a place where I think we all should reach a place where when we have to decide between trusting God or trusting ourselves or being negative or not being hopeful and believing that we're never going to get out of the situation and just doubting ourselves and the plans that he has for us. When it comes between that, like, I'm going to trust in God, simply because to me, that's the only option that makes sense. And like I said before, I don't want to give my energy. If I'm going to give my energy to the negative, I'd rather give my energy to the positive. And as hard as it may be, and what I think is so beautiful when it comes to trusting God, like, I may only have 5% of energy to trust in God right now, today, but God will take my 5% and renew it and maybe turn it into 100%, and it may be turned to 100% over the course of the challenge or the season that I'm going through. But I think it's just so beautiful that we can come to him with our 5% of trust. And if that's what you have, that's what you have. And he will work with that. And of course, he said with all of our hearts. So yeah, that's 100% of yourself. But I do believe there are certain challenges that we're going through where literally it drains the life out of us. And all you have is what you have, because you're so mentally drained. And God is saying, like, give me all you have. And what's coming to mind is a story about the fishes and the loaves, when he used that and multiplied it to feed thousands of people. And they gave God all they had, and he multiplied that. And it's the same way that we can give God all we have. We can give him the 5% trust that we have today. And guess what? Tomorrow you might have 80%. And the next day you might have 100%. But I think what matters the most is for us not to be perfect and trying to trust God. It's like, if all you have is 2% of trust today, then give God your 2%. And at least you gave God your 2% and you didn't give that 2% of energy, all you have, to the negativity, to the hopelessness, to the lack of faith. You didn't give that away. And honestly, I feel like when you give that away to those things, like you had 2% and you're leaving with 0%. Those things literally drain the life out of you, versus when you give it to God, he renews it. He renews your strength, like I said before, and he literally, like, he makes you feel better. Like, you don't leave drained. There's nothing about trusting in God and you're leaving more drained. I think that, yet you may have 2% of faith, 2% of trust, but you need a lot of faith. And I think that's what trusting God requires, is like, yeah, like, you may just have 2% today, but I'm going to need you to trust me with your 2%, but also have faith that I can get you out of the situation. So I think that's the difference between just us using our energy. Because if you're going to use your energy anyway, right? Why not use it for the good? And why not use it for something that is of hope? Like, I forgot the verse, but I believe it's Jeremiah, is, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to give you hope in the future. So, why not use your energy to believe in those things than to believe in the negative when it's not serving you? It's not serving us. Believing in the negative literally does not serve us. It drains you. It takes the life out of you. It gives you no hope. Like, you're not looking forward for tomorrow. Versus when we do have a little bit of hope, like when we do decide to trust in God each and every day, like, our little bit of hope becomes bigger, it becomes larger. And at the end of the circumstance, at the end of the season, it's a journey to building the trust, right? At the end of that, we're looking back like, wow, like, I don't know how I even got through this. I'm so happy and grateful that I trusted God through this season. I'm going to end it off right here. What I want you guys to take away, and for me to take away myself, because we could have 100% of trust today, and tomorrow we only got 1%. Because I feel like every season does test our faith differently. And certain seasons, it feels like you more faith is required of you. And I think there's certain things that we face. Yeah, this may have required a little bit of faith, but this look like, I have to believe with all my being, with all the breath in my lungs. Like, I have to believe that God is going to take me out of this. And I think that's required because the bigger the season, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the difficult season, I was going to say, is essentially more faith is required, because you're being tested in a way that you've never been tested before. So more is going to be required of you. And that's okay. And that's okay. And guess what? You could do it. And all you have to do is trust in God with all your heart, and to lean not in your own understanding. So don't try to make sense out of it. Don't believe what you believe. Don't believe what other people are saying. Your only job, our only job, is to trust in Him with all of our heart. And I hope this message blesses you. And I hope you have an amazing week. And just think about, what ways can you trust God? Can you practice trusting God more in this season of your life? Thank you so much for watching. And if this has blessed you, please like, comment, and share it. of course, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Stay amazing and have an amazing week.